Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, everybody? I'm back from the dead. This whole YouTube thing, hopefully this is sorted out. Excited to be back. I figured I'd do a live Q&A tonight instead of the recorded one I typically do. I like to take the time to research my answers to make sure that they're accurate and correct, but I figured it'd be fun to get back here with everybody and talk to you folks. I really appreciate all the support I got while I was going through this temporary reprieve from YouTube. It was kind of, I kind of been expecting this to happen for a while, but thankfully I had some good people in my corner that helped me out, and the content moderation and appeals people at YouTube were very understanding and helpful. They got me out of this very quickly, thankfully, and they agreed that the channel being taken down was a mistake. So back in business now. It's I'm just thankful for the people that helped me. Gamboni Law helped me with this, and there's a couple other people behind the scenes that I'll keep anonymous that helped me through this process, and I really appreciate everybody helping me out. Thanks, Phil. Glad to be back. My intent with this stuff is always to be helpful, entertaining, and a little provocative here and there, but nothing mean or cruel. I don't like to be mean or cruel to people. I try to be considerate. Thanks, DJ. Appreciate it. But glad I am back too. Thanks, Derek. I appreciate it. So if you guys have any questions lined up, let me know. I mean, I guess I can just briefly talk about what I think happened. I don't want to go too much in depth about it because it's, I think it was just kind of, the whole thing was kind of silly, but from what and Josh, you're funny. From what I understand, it looks like somebody went through and just mass reported my channel. I seem to have angered somebody. Not sure who they went through and just what it looks like. I'm not 100% certain, but what it appears is that somebody just mass reported every single one of my videos for promoting the sale of illegal substances, which I've never done. As you guys know, I've never done that. I've never promoted or linked to anything. And my channel has always been about education, harm reduction, having an honest and open dialogue about bodybuilding and all the craziness that goes on in bodybuilding. But clearly I upset somebody. I'm not sure what I did to upset that certain somebody, and they went through and mass reported my videos. And the way that the YouTube moderation works, it's all automated. It's done through AI, and you get basically 3 content strikes, and after the 3rd content strike, your channel gets removed. So they just threw a bunch of shit up against the wall, and my channel got taken down as a result. And when a human being actually looked at it and reviewed it, they said that it was clearly a mistake, and they restored it, thankfully. I hope that I abide by the guidelines on mass report. I don't know if it was a bot attack or if somebody just had a bunch of time on their hands, whatever the case may be. I'm sure the person I offended is listening right now. But hey, don't know what I did to upset whoever I upset. I just do this for fun. This is something I do to help people, to entertain. And if it's something I said offended you or upset you that much, it probably says more about you than it does me. Not to provoke anybody, but it was not my intent to upset somebody to that point. I'm not sure why I upset people. Thanks, man. Dodo, appreciate it. I don't know about that one. Uh, you'll never overtrain again. Yeah, I think that might have been. I took that video down because I think that video. I, well, I put a video up talking about deloads and overtraining. And look, it's entirely possible to overtrain and overdo things. I've done it before. But I put a video up basically saying maybe consider that the reason your progress isn't what you would like it to be is that you are maybe not working hard enough. It's not that you need a deload, it's that you need more rest and recovery. Maybe you should try testing your limits first, then worry about taking a deload or reducing your workload and increasing recovery. And I'm not saying that they aren't a part of the equation. They certainly are. And I was having a little fun with it, poking at people. It was a little provocative, but that I put it up on Instagram. I actually took down the post I put on Instagram because it got me so many hate DMs. It was unreal. I had so many angry people. I didn't realize that telling people that maybe they need to try working harder first before they worried about pulling back, that would be so offensive and upsetting to people. It was really wild to me. It was almost like I called somebody's mom a dirty name. It was absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't believe how upset and offended people were by such a simple post. And I did a react video on Sunday. Maybe I'll put it back up at some point. I don't know. But I went through and read a bunch of the comments in the react video and responded to some of the criticism. And I had that up on Sunday night. Shortly thereafter, when I put that video up, I don't know, within a few hours, my stuff got mass reported and the channel got taken down. So I think somebody got offended by me calling them out for basically not training hard enough. It's so, yeah, exactly, Josh. Work harder is a controversial topic. It's so thoughts on 10 grand a trend and never coming off. Well, I mean, you'll come off eventually when you die. So yeah. Yeah, forgotten friend. Yeah, bodybuilding is the only sport that the young, inexperienced little guys tell the big vets how to do it. It is a bizarre world we live in now. And I don't want to sound like the old guy telling the kids to get off my lawn. I certainly, there are some smart young people out there that I have learned from. But it's interesting that these people, it's so weird that these people, they spend 2 years in the gym and they're ready to go out and tell everybody else that's been doing it for 25 or 30 years how to do it the right way. It is so bizarre to me. When I first started working out when I was younger, those of you that are my age of Gen Xer, I started working out in a powerlifting old school gym. There weren't a lot of the chain gyms that are around now. And I remember going in there around these fucking savages, these old power lifters, these dudes that had tattoos from head to toe. Half of them were bikers. These dudes that were just brutal, man. And you had to earn your way in with these guys. And you didn't dare think about questioning anything they said. You would get slapped in the fucking head. I remember one time I forgot to rack weights when I think I was 16, man. I was just a kid, 16 or 17. I don't remember. I was at the gym and this old biker came up and literally slapped me in the back of my head and told me, rack your fucking weights. And now everybody gets offended by me just saying, work a little harder. And it's super bizarre to me. I just don't understand that. Everything I've done in my life, I have learned through years and years of practice that the way you get better at something is to push yourself. And sometimes you can push yourself too far. Of course, that is a possibility. You definitely can push yourself too far. I've done it before. But here's the thing: test your limits first before you worry about going past those limits. That's the only point I was trying to make. And evidently that really offended some people. Anyway, what year was that? 1990. Let's see. I'm trying to think. When did I start lifting? I graduated high school in 92. So probably 1991, 1990, something like that. That's when I started lifting. Yeah, so 92, I don't know, 91, 92, in that range. Was when I got slapped in the back of the head. Those of you that are my age, um, that you know what I'm talking about. This is a funny one. Anthony said, "Welcome back. I heard one of the stipulations on having you back your YouTube channel back is you can never mention you're diabetic again." Is that true? All right, that's a good troll comment. No, it's not true, and I'm going to make sure I mention it on every YouTube episode that I talk about. So, just in case you're wondering, I am diabetic. So there we go. Thank you for bringing it up. Josh, in 1992, I was 9 years old, fresh out of prison. 19. I was born in 74, so I was 18 in 1992. In type 1B. That's hilarious. You guys are funny. Bodybuilding is a crackpot sport. Crockpot sport in a microwave generation. Yes, it is a slow cook. You have to be committed to doing it for a long time. So yes, folks, I am old as fuck. I forget how old yeah, chicken thighs. It's another one. I probably offend people with the don't eat chicken thighs comments too. All right, I guess we can get some real questions. And Quaz has a question: if my goal is to lose fat and gain muscle, is it better to go on a strict cut or stay at maintenance calories, 20% body fat, 400 tests, 4 IUs of GH, 4 times a week? Yeah, if you're 20% body fat, you need to get lean. Simple as that. Go spend some time, get yourself down. You don't have to get like super crazy lean. You can get down, but I would say get down to like 10%, and then you can start building back up. And so, because think about it, like you gaining some body fat is going to be inevitable when you're in a caloric surplus. You can limit it to a certain degree, but if you're going on a bulk and you're going on a bulk and you're already at 20%, I mean, where are you going to end up? 25 by the time you're finish the bulk. There's also the P ratio. You can look it up if you want to. I'm not going to go into great deal of explanation about it, but there is some evidence that the higher your body fat goes, the higher proportion of weight gain actually goes to body fat versus lean tissue. That's not to say that you stop gaining muscle. Clearly, some power lifters and strongmen carry a fair amount of body fat, and they're quite large human beings as well. But I would say if your objective is to be a bodybuilder and not a power lifter, then I would get lean first. I've seen this process work over and over again, and the guys that never commit to getting lean generally never end up making great improvements in their physique. If your goal is to be to have first is physique improvement. Mark, is painful lower back pumps a sign of high BP? No, not necessarily. It's usually just water retention, but having more water retention can also increase blood pressure as well. But usually the lower back pumps are due to water retention from what I've seen. D-ball is famous for it. DECA is famous for it. It's generally an issue with water retention. Did they have electricity when they were growing up? Yes, I had electricity, but I did not have cell phones, internet. My kids make fun of me. They tell me I was born in the 1900s and ask me what it was like before internet and cell phones. It was brutal. Kurt had mentioned the doubts about the efficacy of injectable L-carnitine. What are your thoughts? I don't use it anymore, man. I've tried it a few times. I mean, if you want to run it, it's not going to hurt anything. It's certainly not hurting anything, but I don't know that it provides a whole lot of benefit. Some people say they get a boost of energy from it. I didn't really notice a whole lot. And then I've had, Mike Horner, who did the contest prep, we documented his contest prep on my YouTube channel. He got 2 infections from L-carnitine. I've had an infected shot from L-carnitine, and I've talked to quite a few people that have had infected L-carnitine shots. I don't know if it's necessarily L-carnitine, or maybe the L-carnitine itself is just an adjutant. They hurt like fuck, to be honest with you. Okay, Desert Rider, vacation coming up. What do you think crushes HDL more? 100 milligrams of Anavar for 2 weeks or 50 milligrams of Anadrol for 5 days? Which has better aesthetics at depleted 9 to 10% body fat? I would say the 100 milligrams of Anavar for 2 weeks is going to crush your HDL worse. I mean, 5 days of 50 milligrams of Anadrol is not going to have that big of an effect. It depends on what you look like. I mean, on contest preps, we'll occasionally use Anadrol to fill out at the end if somebody's super flat, but Anadrol can, in some people, drive water retention. It just depends. But I would say that Anadrol, if you're flat, is probably what you would use to fill back out a little bit. You can do a test run and see what you look like. But we would opt with a DHT-based anabolic if achieving hardness is what you're trying to accomplish. I would say Anadrol is probably not the first option. Guillermo, I'm probably mispronouncing your name. Do you prefer DECA or MPP as an add-on to first bulking cycle in first years? Neither. I've kind of gotten away from Nandrolone, to be honest with you. I do like Nandrolone for its effect on putting on size in the past, but it's been, now that I've coached hundreds and hundreds of people at this point, done hundreds and hundreds of consults, probably the 2 most side effect laden steroids that I see are D-bol. Well, 3. Let's say D-bol, DECA, and Tren. Honestly, I think Tren probably is tolerated better than DECA in most people, and you can get in and out of it quickly. I have a love-hate relationship with Nandrolone. I ran a lot of it when I was younger, and I do think it helped me put on size, but it's a spin the wheel situation with side effects, with erectile dysfunction, increase in estrogen conversion, water retention, high blood pressure, you name it. Anxiety is the issue I run into. Rack pull. I know you got away from daily injections, but do you think they actually make a substantial difference? I didn't really get away from them. I'm just lazy. Look, when I'm on contest prep and I'm doing a huge volume of gear, I'll run daily injections just for convenience sake. I think they're just easier to manage, but if you have issues with estradiol conversion, it seems like daily injections tend to lower problems with that, with testosterone. But I would say you could probably get away with most longer esters, probably twice a week or every other day injection protocol in the off season. But it's look, you got to figure out what works for you. Would high body fat convert that 400 tests to estrogen? I mean, the higher your body fat is, the more aromatase you make. So in theory, yes, the fatter you are, the more prone you're going to be to estrogen conversion. Shadowrunner said, smash that like buttons, contents free. Yes. Also, guys, just a reminder, especially, and I'm terrible about promoting myself, I'm not just on YouTube too. I'm also on X. I am on Instagram, which I think a lot of people also follow me there. I am on Spotify and Apple Music as well. So if you want to follow me there, those are other avenues. And I also have the private community, the Team Anabolic Bodybuilding community. If you want to ask me questions directly over there, I have that as well. Best way to measure body fat percentage. I mean, the DEXA scan is the best balance of affordability and accuracy. I believe it has a margin of error plus or minus 2%. Do not, I get guys that send me their in-body scans all the time. Those things, you can literally take a shit and drink a glass of water and your body fat will change 5%. It's terrible. Paul had 3 beepers. One was just for the girlfriend. Yep, back in the day. Being old school, I prefer EQ over DHB. Do you think finasteride will reduce anabolism with EQ? Well, I mean, EQ reduces to DHB. How much of it actually reduces to DHB is probably pretty minuscule. But yes, finasteride is going to block that conversion. I'm not a big fan of DHB. I know there's some people that are running it now with the shortages that are going on. I've seen a lot of people with really fucked up liver enzymes from running even small amounts of DHB. So I would probably stay away from DHB. I did 200 milligrams of Anadrol for 4 weeks and only lost a few points on HDL. Yeah, honestly, I think Anavar might be worse at smashing lipids than Anadrol. I don't have anything to base that on. It's just did you learn Pythagoras theorem directly from Pythagoras? What do you think the biggest mistake well-intentioned younger folks make with training? Well, it's completely shifted. When I was young, everybody ego lifted. And it's so weird. It's like, I mean, there's still kids that ego lift, but it seems like it's completely flipped the other way now, where everybody is doing one arm lateral or one arm pull downs where they're trying to isolate the teres major and getting the angle at 45 degrees. It's like, and using 20 pounds to try to promote maximum contraction from the obtuse angle of the butthole towards the angle of the moon. I mean, it's just so fucking weird now in programming and rest and, timing the rest periods between their sets. I see these dudes like are barely doing anything on machines, and then they got their phone out measuring how much time they take between sets. I'm like, bro, just fucking go when you're ready, man. You're not doing anything intense enough to take 5 minutes and 33.4 seconds between sets. I would say, it depends on your goal. I mean, learn to lift towards whatever your specific goal would be. So if you're trying to be a physique athlete, you need to learn to lift like a bodybuilder. If you're trying to lift for strength, learn to lift like a strength athlete. Yeah. Let's see. I'm thinking of stacking Primo EQ and XL. Curious what your thoughts on this combo. I've tried it before. It smashes your estrogen. AB is back. All is right with the world. Where's my boy Blue? How much did you have to bench press before the channel was restored? I don't do bench presses, Josh. Excellent news. Thank you, Carnivore Muscle. Did I miss any questions here? So back to I want to touch a little bit more on the DHB thing. I have really seen some just terrible blood work from DHB. So I would proceed with some extreme caution if you're considering it. For me, it doesn't have it is a tool in the toolbox, that is for sure, but it's not one I use. Sorry, allergies. I'm not a big DHB guy. Any other questions, folks? I'm going to kind of get back on here and take some questions, and we can get into some stuff. Let's see here. Did you say Trend Ace is less? I don't know necessarily if I'm saying that. I just say, for me, like let's see, here we go. So did you say Trend Ace is less risky addition than NPP, say 10 to 20 milligrams? I'm saying I have less. I wouldn't say, I'm not saying risk. What I'm saying is for side effects, like Trend Ace, I don't get as bad side effects from that as I do from Nandrolone now. it's not that I run either. I don't really run either anymore. Pretty much, I'm at this point. I'm just if I'm going to run anything, it's test and primo and GH. That's pretty much all I ever run anymore. Maybe master on. I got nervous after the email yesterday about the channel. I'm glad you got it back. Thank you, DUI Dan. Appreciate that. MD put me on 180 milligrams of Armour thyroid. Anything to watch out for? Sometimes thyroid can make you lose muscle if you're in a caloric deficit. So just keep an eye on that. I would just keep a close eye on that. Any thoughts on? Let's see, thoughts on DMHA products? Isn't DMHA pretty much meth? I'm pretty sure. I gotta look it up here. Yeah, it's meth, man. I would not fucking use it. I mean, if you want something that spicy, just go get some ephedrine. You can buy it at the pharmacy. I don't know. I'm not a big stimulant guy. If I need to get up for a workout, I just drink a cup of coffee and listen to some metal. I don't even use a pre-workout. If you're giving advice to a lifestyle guy and not a competitor, at what point do you think it makes sense to hire a coach versus handling things on your own? I would say if you want to get lean, and I'm probably hurting my business by saying this, like the off season's really not that fucking complicated. You just eat food and lift weights. Getting lean is a little more nuanced. There's definitely some problem solving. We got to tweak the diet. We got to play around with things. Fat loss stalls. Some people tolerate certain things better than others. I would say if you're trying to do a cut or a contest prep, that would be the time to hire a coach. If you're delving into the world of the dark arts of performance enhancement, I would hire an expert that's been there and done it to save you from making the mistakes that we've made. I have made every fucking, it's fun. It's funny because people get bent out of shape when I'm critical about certain PEDs, but it's because I've made every damn mistake that you possibly can make. If you think you know it all, I've probably already done it, and I probably already screwed up. I probably have had 20 or 30 people come to me in a consult that made that mistake and screwed themselves up. So I'm not saying it to be an asshole. I'm saying it because I truly have experienced it before, and I'm trying to save you from making the same mistakes that I have. But yeah. So I would say if you're trying to get shredded, hire a coach. If you're trying to get into performance enhancement, hire a coach. If you're just trying to be fit and healthy, don't worry about it. You can probably do it on your own. Let's see. The educated meathead, Dr. Marv. Hey, what's up, Dr. Marv? We need to do another episode at some point. Howdy, Paul. Hope the shoulder's coming along nicely and get ready for a glorious return. My doctor's being super conservative, man. I'm 4 months post-op now, and he still does not want me lifting any weights whatsoever. He told me bands only, no overhead resistance movements. Now, am I listening to that advice? Not really, but I haven't done anything over like 15 pounds, and I have been using bands, so haven't really been able to train. I'm still actually did my first really hard leg training session this week in months because I couldn't really do hack squats with the load on my shoulder. Couldn't really do leg presses because you have to use your arm to brace with. So that was out of the question. Leg extension, even something, I thought, yeah, I can do leg extensions, but I didn't realize how much you brace with your arms grabbing the seat. So I couldn't even really go hard on leg extensions. I mean, I could do lunges without weights. I mean, but there really wasn't a whole lot I could do even for legs until the shoulder and the bicep are somewhat healed up. And I did my first really hard leg training session. We worked up in a while, did hack squats, and I worked up to 5 plates on each side. I used to work up to 6. I was kind of where I tap out before, but 5 plates felt sufficiently heavy, so I need to work my way back up. Didn't bother my shoulder. It was pretty good. Welcome back. Thank you. I love DMAA. One of the only things I actually felt made me focus as ever. I mean, it works. It's pretty much meth. I mean, yep. Let's see. Also, an injectable methyl trend before a workout. I've never tried it, man. Sure, it works. When carb cycling, do you count veggies in the carb count? Green, broccoli? No, I don't, because they're all fiber for the most part. It's net carbs. So like if you do 10 grams of carbs from veggies, like 9 of it's fiber. So it's not even worth counting. If you're eating starchy vegetables, things like peas, carrots do have some carbs in them. Corn, stuff like that, it's going to be higher carb content. But if you're eating like leafy vegetables, leafy greens, broccoli, asparagus, things like that, no, I don't count it. It's not even worth trying to track. Everything is sexually is okay, but I'm having a problem finishing. It's not fun. Someone recommended P5P. If your prolactin is high, it can affect that. P5P might help bring prolactin down just a little bit. What's Zionicus? What's the one thing YouTube didn't right in this whole process? I mean, they were quick to respond to my appeal. I actually held my appeal for a couple days before I submitted it because I wanted to make sure. Oh, one thing I learned in years of running businesses is when you're in the middle of a crisis, sometimes it's best to just step back, take a breath, gather your thoughts, and don't respond or come up with a plan when you're emotional or in a panic. It's best just to sit on it, gather your thoughts, talk to some people that you trust that have an objective outside. I talked to a couple people that I trust and spoke to an attorney, crafted an appeal letter that addressed YouTube's concerns, and cogently expressed my viewpoint disputing the ban. And I submitted it today, and they respond quickly. I mean, it was within an hour. I got my channel back after submitting the appeal. So I'm glad I took the time to just think things through and didn't go all brimstone and fire, and could have been easy to flip the middle finger. And, being mean to people. I mean, these are real people that are working over here just trying to do their job for the most part. I worked in tech, and most people are well-intentioned in tech. It's a big mega corporation, and I'm sure they get abused all the time by clients. I don't want to be a dick to anybody. This is funny. Does it right? A bit shortage of big Paul Q&A videos would rival the shortage in China. Was there a point where you thought you wouldn't get it back, or did you keep your grip like a deadlift? No, I look, like, I've had a lot of obstacles in my life. I've had a lot of things happen. I've dealt with illness. I've dealt with bankruptcy. I've dealt with all sorts of adversity. I wasn't that too worried about it, to be honest with you. I mean, if it went down, I would just, it didn't come back, I would pursue other things. I don't depend on this for income. So it's truly something I do because I enjoy doing it. I would be sad if I wasn't able to do it again, because I think it is the best platform for long form content. And I appreciate the opportunity to be back on here. Do you feel like you are shrinking? I was 244 this morning. So, I mean, yeah, I've gotten a little bit smaller, but I mean, I honestly, I'm surprised at how much size I've hung on to and how lean I've stayed just running 200 milligrams of testosterone, a couple of units of GH all year. Not really, I haven't really trained upper body in 4 months, other than just my rehab work. I, so it just goes to show. I mean, I've been training off and on since I was 16, so shit, close to 40 years. It just goes to show you once you have that tissue built, it doesn't go away that easily. Fuck, I saw Ian Valieri at the Tampa Pro, and I couldn't believe how big he is after saying he was trying to downsize. I mean, I think he said he came down from 300 to like 260 or something. Dude's still big as fuck. Let's see, I'm currently post-op bilateral ulnar nerve transposition and carpal tunnel release, finding the same issues with training legs without bracing. The other ways to continue to, I mean, sissy squats, lunges. There's a bunch of other stuff, but I didn't realize like how much bracing was involved with everything. It just, yeah. I mean, you just gotta kind of figure out what works. My friend Al Gamboni at Gamboni Law, he helped me with the appeal process. Thank you, Al, very much. I appreciate it. Any thoughts on asparagus, apple cider vinegar, reduce stomach bloat? Well, asparagus is actually high FODMAP, if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure it's on the FODMAP list, so it would potentially, depending on how your stomach handles it, increase bloat. Vinegar sometimes can make it worse or better. It really just depends if you have high stomach acid, low stomach acid. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that can cause it, but there's some common offenders with food that I've seen. A lot of bodybuilding foods that guys eat that seem to contribute to gas, bloating. A big offender I see is broccoli. Broccoli is a high FODMAP food. Bodybuilders love eating broccoli for whatever reason. It's an old school thing. And broccoli tends to be a big contributor to problem. Overdoing the egg whites. I've seen a lot of guys overdo the egg whites and end up the sulfur in the eggs can cause problems. Eggs also have very tightly folded proteins, so they need to be thoroughly cooked to unfold those proteins so your body can digest them. Protein powders, a lot of protein powders end up causing indigestion and stress. Another big offender I see is garlic and onions, and guys are like, well, I don't eat garlic and onions. But then if you look at the spices that you use on your food, a lot of those spices have garlic powder and onion powder in them, which can cause gas and bloating as well. So I would take a close look at all your foods. Take a look at the FODMAP list, and I would eliminate the stuff that's high FODMAP. Start from there, and then see how that goes. I'm in Australia, hearing that the States has a gear shortage. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. What's the best way to manage carpal tunnel titrating up on GH? I've been super diligent about electrolyte sodium. I keeping your crush over. Yeah, just making sure you don't get bloated and have a bunch of water retention. It's great business wisdom. Thank you. I've run 4 businesses, bankrupted one of them. I had 3 of them that were pretty successful, and now I do this. I've been a CEO, entrepreneur my entire life. I started my first business when I was in college. I think I was 21 years old. So I have some experience in that area. Let's see here. What are the do's and don'ts with taking diuretics and non-pharmaceuticals? It's my first time holding a bit of water. I wouldn't, if you're holding water, I wouldn't use diuretics. I would address the underlying causes of the water retention. And it just depends on what's causing them. You can go to your doctor. A lot of times it's just renin, overstimulation of the renin, angiotensin aldosterone system, and you can get, guys are terrified to take blood pressure meds, but the first line of defense for blood pressure is usually a medicine that's going to address the renin angiotensin aldosterone pathway. either ACE inhibitors or an androgen retention blocker, and angiotensin. Jesus Christ, I can't fucking talk. You know what I'm saying. ARB or an ACE inhibitor. Those are going to address the angiotensin, renin-angiotensin aldosterone pathway and reduce water retention. I would take a look at your diet. High estradiol can be another contributor to water retention. I would address those. If diuretic is sort of like the last resort, when doctors are treating water retention, diuretics are when everything else fails. They don't use a diuretic until there's last resort. So I wouldn't start there. Betaine HCl, usually blunt force Tanya, it helps. Tanya usually helps with struggling digestion for food volume. Yeah, it can help. That's for sure. Depends on what the cause of the bloating though is. Yeah, once you get back on, you're back to your previous size. I'd bet it. Yeah, I think I'd blow up pretty quick. We'll see. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like I've held up pretty well. I don't know how much you can see. I'm still, like I said, I'm 245. I was 250 on stage. I'm definitely not as lean as I was. I would say if I cut down and got stage lean right now, I'd probably be like 230 at this point. So I probably need to get back up to like 260, 270 to be 250 on stage. Josh, I loved watching your carb and fat education videos recently. Got a lot of value from it. Thank you. I'm glad somebody appreciated the diet videos. All the bros want to just talk about steroids. I actually enjoy nutrition more. Lebo, thank God you're back. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. John Milne, what is the best way to manage estrogen when coming off EQ? Test blast with longer ester with EQ. Well, the EQ is going to take forever to taper down, man. I mean, 10, 12-day half-life, something like that. It depends on how you metabolize them. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. So, I mean, it's going to be 2 months before it's out of your system. So there will be some tapering down of all the effects that it has, I would assume. So you're going to have, although I do see a lot of times when guys go to cruise and they lower their doses, they tend to have an estrogen rebound. It's possible that you may need an aromatase inhibitor. Let's see here. Do you think Cialis is okay to use for blood pressure? I can sure tell the pumps when lifting. I mean, look, I currently taking lisinopril. So it depends on the root cause of what the high blood pressure is. Cialis is going to affect vasodilation, nitric oxide production, which is going to help with arterial health. But from what I've seen, that Cialis doesn't really have much of a dramatic effect on lowering blood pressure in our cohort. It's certainly not, if you can tolerate it, it is a thing that can be added. But the most common driver of high blood pressure with guys on PEDs, for the most part, is going to be water retention. And the problem and I hear guys like they want to use Cialis as a cure-all for blood pressure. The Cialis is not going to address water retention in any way whatsoever. It doesn't address water retention. Central nervous system stimulation is probably the second most common reason why guys that are running high doses of androgens have high blood pressure. Cialis is not going to address that. There is some vasoconstriction from the central nervous system stimulation, so it may have a small effect there with how it causes vasodilation. But usually if you have a lot of CNS stimulation, you'll notice that the pulse increases and then blood pressure goes up accordingly. At that point, a beta blocker would be what would address that, or just lowering your androgen load. Same thing with water retention. I mentioned it earlier, an ARB or an ACE inhibitor would be the first line of defense. I mean, you can also address the underlying causes of why the water retention is high. It could be electrolyte imbalances, too much sodium, not enough potassium or magnesium in your diet. It could be just your diet fucking sucks. That could be part of it. It could be estrogen's too high. You could be just one of those people that just turns into a water buffalo anytime they're on PEDs. Some people are like that. Blunt force telling you, hey, I love nutrition. Keep it coming. I do too. Nutrition is my favorite part of this. I really enjoy it more than PEDs, to be honest with you. I kind of get tired of talking about PEDs. And any of my coaching clients that I work with or people that I do consults with will tell you I'm pretty boring with the PEDs. I really don't do anything complicated. I just make sure guys are healthy. They're tolerating them well. We try to figure out what works well for them. And then really the rest of it's just getting the diet dialed in. I am running a trend ACE only cycle. Do I need the test? I mean, you're not going to have any DHT conversion or estrogen. I mean, you need some. I don't know. I've never run trend only. That sounds foolish to me, but I guess there's only one way to find out. Vegan Gains. I hopped on gear and I've been watching some of your content for a while to inform my choice. Great to see you back. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Welcome to the dark side, Vegan Gains. I'm glad we could tempt you over. All right, let's see what else we got here. I paired test unduncuanates with EQ, so they raise and fall. That's a smart approach. I never considered that. It's maxing out, Josh is maxing out a hack squat, a bad move on a cut. Yeah, if you like your tendons, it's probably a bad move. Let's see. Blue collar bodybuilding. What's up, Dave and Jackie? I love you guys. Hey, Paul, just checking in with Jackie. Glad to see your channel back. I'm glad to be back. I would have missed everybody. It's a part of my life. So, what is your Netflix? Or no, Desert Rider. What is your Netflix show right now? Man, I don't really watch a lot of TV anymore. I'm trying to think, man, what I've been watching. I do want to watch. This is on Hulu. I want to watch the new Alien Earth show. That looks interesting. I'm a sci-fi guy. I'm trying to think what all I've watched this year. Man, Netflix has kind of sucked. There hasn't really been anything good on Netflix lately. I am watching Foundation on Apple right now. I watched Severance earlier this year. Severance was great. The new season of Andor on Disney Plus. That was actually what a Star Wars show should look like. It's the only Star Wars show I've seen that I actually fucking enjoyed. So yeah, I would say that. I think I'm trying to think of other things I've watched this year. I haven't really watched a whole lot of stuff this year. I did just, occasionally I'll watch a movie or something. I do like going to the movie theater. I'm old school. Went and saw the new Superman, went and saw the new, because I'm a sucker for superhero movies. I went and saw the new Fantastic Four movie, which I thought was kind of boring, to be honest with you. The new Superman was good. Did you see OT in the theaters? What is OT? I'm sorry, I'm lost. I did go see. Oh God, I'm trying to think. What else have I seen this year? I saw. Oh God, I'm trying to think of what other movies I saw this year. Oh, F1. I saw F1 in the theater. That was really good. I just saw the Jeff Buckley documentary. That was excellent. I'm a music nerd. I studied music in college, and I love music. Oh, Star Wars, the original. Okay, no, I didn't. I mean, I saw them when they came out initially. I'm that fucking old. I saw the original Star Wars in the theater. That is one of my earliest memories of my childhood. I'm trying to think. I was 4 years old, I think. And I remember my dad taking me to see Star Wars in the theater, like vividly remember. for whatever reason, I remember the scene with R2D2 when he gets with the Jawas or whatever when they took him on their thing. I remember seeing that. And my dad told me, like, he'll tell me to this day, he said I sat there with my eyes open and my eyes wide open and my mouth hanging open through the whole thing, and he thought something was wrong with me. And then he realized that I was just, that was the beginning of my fantasy sci-fi craze. uh let's see. Mobland was good. I haven't watched that. I need to go back and finish The Penguin. I started watching that. Um the new Superman was worth seeing. It didn't take itself too seriously. I think that's what I liked. It was funny. It was entertaining. The Fantastic Four was just stuffy and boring. It was a predictable. It was pretty, but it was a predictable. Um, it was sort of predictable. I thought it was kind of boring. Does it right? Yeah, took my 12-year-old son to see the Fantastic Four. Definitely made more for that generation. I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest with you. Let's see. Is it normal for Anavar to call some? Yeah, I mean all orals fucking can fuck up your stomach. That's been my problem with orals. Bloat for Sonya. I have to miss out on movies until they come out on streaming. I miss going to the movies, but I can't handle listening to that many open mouth. No, that's why you go to the late movie. I've been going to like super late movies, like 11 o'clock at night, and sometimes I'm the only person in the theater. I'm a night owl anyway. I usually stay up till 2, 3 in the morning. Honestly, the majority of my recreational time, I work long days. I usually work 10, 12 hours every day. But when I'm done working, I typically, my recreational time, I just play video games. I need to get back into playing the guitar. I've kind of put the guitar on the shelf. I have arthritis, so it's hard to get excited about playing the guitar anymore. Because my hands hurt. So I don't know. Sublingual Anavar. From what I understand, I could be wrong. I'm not a biochemist. From what I understand, alcohol needs to be dissolved in or Anavar orals need to be dissolved in an alcohol solution for them to be sublingually available. Like just putting the pill under your tongue, I don't think you get much, if any, of it. Tina Carson, I'm so old that my first date was to see Jaws. Scared me to death. Scared your date to death. Okay. That's awesome. Tom G, are there any changes to carb cycling when using a GLP like Zepbound? Was considering trying to use it sugar fast, but it seems no, I haven't changed anything on the diets with GLP ones. I keep them the same. I have been playing around. I mean, the sugar fast thing is not that far off from what a high day would be on a carb cycling diet. I always bring the protein down pretty low, and I guess you could take it down to nothing and see if you can get away with it. I've had a couple clients experimenting with the sugar fast on their high days. I still think you need some amino acids, and it seems a bit like a gimmick to me, but I that's my take on it. Look, it's something you can do. Let's see. Anabolic Bodybuilding, Gods and Monsters Live in Brooklyn. It's a great album. I need to check that out. I still hear the people 5 rows behind me eating. Well, the good thing with me is I'm pretty much deaf from being in bands and shit when I was younger, listening to loud music. So I can't hear shit that's behind me. People will yell my name behind me and I can't hear them. You got to sit in the back row then. You would not like going to the movies with me because I am the guy chomping on popcorn. Let's see. What if we got anything? Large butter popcorn and a Diet Coke. Yep, I go with Coke Zero. Battlefield 6 does look good. I don't really play shooters much anymore, but because be honest with you, my reflexes suck at 50, almost 52 years old. I can't keep up with the kids on shooters. I'm playing Madden right now. I played the fuck out of Path of Exile 2 and Diablo. I pretty much ragged out all the content on the latest Diablo season that came out in the beginning of July. I've done pretty much everything there is to do unless I want to start a new character. But yeah, I'm playing Madden right now. A little bit of Cyberpunk. Let's see. Blood for some any drug specifically for. Okay, wait. Any drug has to be specifically formulated for absorption unless they are perfect molecularly. Anyway, yep. That's what my understanding was. Ryan Parsons, I picked up the guitar again after a hiatus. Got a hand-me-down Yamaha nylon. It's great. I have got like probably 8-9 guitars, something like that. I got a bunch of guitars. Too many. I'm that old dude at Guitar Center. Bill Burr, on his latest comedy special, was making fun of the old guy buying guitars in Guitar Center. I do just go to Guitar Center and look around. I am that dude. Do you think doing a 24-hour fast 1 week for months will hurt or cause? I've done 24-hour fast for years. Didn't seem to hurt my size any. Josh Perry, what's more expensive, movie food or Saracen? Probably movie food. Let's see here. Man, person's my ears are shot from shooting in the Marine Corps and heavy metal concerts. VA got me for tinnitus. Yeah, I definitely have tinnitus. So choke games are like sweets for me. Once I start up again, I can't stop. I have to avoid them. Yeah, I have to limit myself, man. I'll go fucking crazy. I'll just play all day, every day if I let myself get out of control. I'm a pretty disciplined person, but I'm all in or all out on shit. That's sort of my MO with stuff. Like it's a superpower and a curse at the same time. As long as I put it to the forces of good, I'm great. But if I do the wrong thing, good Lord, you can never have too many guitars. That's my motto. Let's see, Vegan Gains. I'm not sure if you're an expert on this because you're highly bald, but what do you think about Masteron for hair loss? Dr. Todd Lee says it's safer than test for hair. Fight him over it. Well, Todd had a hair transplant, so I don't know if his ethereal Masteron is accurate or not. Here's my thing on hair loss. It's largely genetic. If you're going to lose your hair, you're going to fucking lose your hair. And in theory, all androgens can cause androgenic alopecia. And if we knew exactly how these mechanisms worked, we would cure baldness and somebody would be a fucking billionaire. So, I mean, maybe we're getting close, but, and there's also other factors too, like how these things affect your estrogen. And there's a bunch of other things that can affect hair follicle health. But my anecdote, and look, I'm not a fucking scientist, so don't take my word on it. My anecdote is if you're prone to hair loss, there is no hair save cycle. There are safer choices, but I mean, probably the safest thing would be a test in GH cycle with a 5-AR inhibitor would be my guess, but that would be about the only thing. Or you could run a DECA only cycle, but then you won't get boners. So it doesn't matter if you don't have hair if you can't get a boner. Let's see here. What are you saying, Tanya? Do you listen to the Thursday afternoon just before Friday, Monday, or morning podcasts too? Or are you talking to me? Bill Burr is evidence that steroids keep you healthier than comedy clubs. Yeah. Let's see. see, Larita, what advice would you give a mom or a man? Oh, I thought it's a mom. Jesus Christ, I can't read. What advice would you give a man over 45 wanting to get a pro card? I'm 45, 6'3", 202 pounds lean. Did my first cycle years ago. I seem to be a good responder. Stated 150 tests to cruise. Well, it depends on what class you're in. I'm tall. You're going to need to be big at 6'3" if you want to compete in bodybuilding and get a pro card. I mean, at 6'3", you're probably going to need to be 250 plus on stage to have a chance. In classic, probably 240. You're going to want to be topping out the weight class on stage. Men's physique, you could potentially do it at a lower weight. It really just depends on your frame. I would say just get into the process, man. Go out and do your first show. See how you do. If you're not sure what class you want to compete in, try a couple classes. I would commit to an off season and just see where you progress. I mean, you're definitely at 6'3", 202 is pretty lean. I would say probably, to me, that would tell me that you probably need to start off in men's physique. Highly bald sent me. Yeah, I am highly bald. I was able to maintain my look. I did all kinds of stupid stuff to nuke my hairline. I will say look, this is just total anecdote. I could be completely wrong about this. The thing that seemed to nuke my hair worse than anything was Trent. I remember the first time I ran Trent, I was just pulling hair out in clumps. Not only that, I never had hair on my back. I did not have any hair on my back until I took Trent. And then I started growing hair on my back. I started growing hair in my ears. I started growing nose hair. It was crazy. Trent really fucked my hair up all the way around. Let's see here. Any other things we got going on? The Ryan Parsons team ball guy. Yeah, I am part of the best gear for strength athletes, strongman, powerline. Not all them. I mean, most strength athletes I talk to, usually they're running. I mean, I've coached some powerlifters. Usually it's test and DECA in the off season. When they're peaking for a meet, then it's A bombs. I mean, nothing drives strength more than A bombs. Some guys use trend, some guys don't. A trend is not that prevalent in powerlifting from my experience. Orals are, it would be test DECA, and then towards the end, it would be what I usually see is Anadrol or halotestin, sometimes Superdrol. Anadrol being the preferred choice of powerlifters. And Daniel, 750 test made my back carry. Mask gave me shoulder pads and back hair. Yeah, so that's evidence right there that Masteron does have an effect. It interacts with the AR in the hair follicle if it caused that. Here's the thing, like these guys that make all these statements about hair loss, they can't say that for sure. We don't 100% understand these compounds, and there's no studies on it. It's just all fucking speculation. And I would say, and look, who knows what caused hair loss, but like somebody who's had a hair transplant saying that Masteron doesn't cause hair loss, that will call into question whether or not Masteron causes hair loss. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Let's see. So, Chad, how do you handle clients whose RBC levels skyrocket high from even minimal amounts of gear? That's been my main issue. I'm hoping dropping weight and doing more cardio would help. I would say limit iron consumption, stay off the red meat, hydrate well. Nattokinase can help a bit. Those would be kind of the simple, easy things to do. Find out what's driving it. That's kind of where I would start. Filippo As Paul, I'm 10% body fat. I can't sleep the last 5 weeks. Average of 3.5. Holy shit, man. Ashwagandha, GABA, theanine, melatonin. I mean, no caffeine after 7 a.m. Blue lights. What gear are you running? That would be my question. There's got to be something going on. There's some sort of, or I'm an insomniac, man. I fucking struggle with sleeping. I go through phases like that, man, where I only sleep like 4 hours a night. And I seem to be able to function. I mean, last night, shit, I went to bed last night at 3:30. I stayed up until 3:30 playing Madden. I will admit, way too late playing Madden, and I was up at, I don't know, 8:30 this morning, something like that. Yeah, it's hard for me to say fully, but I would try to eliminate anything that could potentially be messing your sleep up. It's hard for me to dissect with that. I mean, let's see here, Alex. While muscles may show noticeable changes in just a few days, tendons and ligaments take 3 months to adapt. Stress, true or false? I don't think that's. I don't know. I don't know the physiology of that. Let's see. Philippe says test prop 300 milligrams, Primo 400, Atribolone 1 milligram, and 5 IUs. It's possible that you smashed your estrogen. I can't sleep when my estrogen's smashed. That would be first thought for me, would be smashed estrogen. If you've been running a calorie deficit, a hard calorie deficit, that could also be an issue as well. I find like you just kind of get in this fight or flight mode when you're running high, when you're running a high calorie deficit. So yeah, also on 70 milligrams of Anavar a day. I would say probably first thought would be estrogen. That would be my first guess. I mean, the metribolone could methyltrianolone could also be a culprit. It's very, 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 very androgenic. Let's see, I'm looking it up right now. Metribolone it interferes with cortisol. I just looked it up. It can suppress cortisol rhythms. Disrupted cortisol patterns can make it harder to fall asleep or maintain a deep sleep. Yeah, and I thought about this. You know, anything that's very androgenic is going to heighten CNS stimulation, sympathetic nervous system activation. I mean, being in caloric deficit is going to also cause sympathetic nervous system activation. But yes, I would say probably I would probably drop the metribolone, get your estradiol checked, and probably start there. Paul James, good to see you. Got your channel back. Any advice on raising HDL? Any luck with any of the supplements or food choices? The single most effective supplement seems to be niacin. You can't use the non-flush niacin. You have to start with a low dose and just work your way up. Fish oil, but fish oil also raises LDL, so it's kind of a catch-22. I would run high doses of fish oil. CoQ10, red rice yeast extract. I have it's on my website. I think I have my lipid fixing supplement stack, red rice yeast extract, citrus bergamot. I mean, all these other ones. Oh yeah, Tanya just said the same thing. Okay. Anyway, yeah, pretty much said the same thing I said. Let's see here. Yeah, training 6 times a week and cardio at 50 minutes, 7 days a week. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like your central nervous system, sympathetic nervous system drive is probably really high, man. That is a lot of fatigue. Cortisol is probably all disrupted. I probably would bump your calories back up for a week. I'll do this with guys on contest prep when going in peaking for a show. I'll pull all the stimulants back. Anything that's a heavy androgen, I will pull out. I will reduce cardio. I will have them get some Imodin to help with the cortisol. I would, put a little more food back in, put some carbohydrates back in your diet. You'll be surprised. Sometimes just having a high carbohydrate day will help you sleep. When do you think Master and Pure get back on the market? Supposedly it's back. I got to be careful talking about that. That's the stuff that gets me in trouble. Big greetings from Croatia. Let's see here. So, Joe, this is probably going to be my last question. Wrap up soon. I got to do check-ins. What do you think of the high frequency, lower volume bodybuilding routine, like upper lower split, training muscles 2 or 3 times a week versus bro splits? I mean, I train everything twice a week. I have for years. I do a PPL. I don't think it depends on what your goals are. If you're trying to be a bodybuilder, I don't think you can successfully address all your body parts training them twice a week. I just have not seen anybody do it successfully at a high level on bodybuilding. Now, if you're just a general fitness enthusiast, you're just trying to be in shape, you're just trying to whatever, you're just enjoying the gym, you're not a competitor, sure, why not? Go for it. But I would say largely that it's probably not going to be effective for bodybuilding if that's what you're trying to do. All right, let's see here. Do I want to get one more in? I feel like JP is the only one, but JP is crazy. Yeah, I mean, JP is amazing. I mean, that the level of intensity that guy can sustain and not get hurt is beyond belief. Like, he is super resilient. If I train like JP, I would just snap in half. I don't have robust joints. I just Rito says, I've been stuck at 202 pounds for 5 weeks on a bulk. How would you bust past this plateau? Wouldn't worry about it. I take the scale with a grain of salt. Gaining weight is not indicative of gaining muscle. I mean, it's certainly a tool of measurement. I mean, there's some, when I'm coaching people with my coaching clients, there's really a couple strategies for moving the scale up, which would be more food or more PEDs. It's really, there's only 2 levers you have. I usually start with food first. More carbohydrates. If I get somebody that's really stuck and just has a metabolism that's going fucking nuts, I'll put in 3 high carbohydrate days per week. Occasionally, I do have these genetic anomalies. I kind of am one of them where I can't gain weight without eating trash food. It's funny how my clients get upset that I, like, how are you eating McDoubles? And I'm like, man, don't do what I do. Literally, when I'm trying to put weight on in the off season, I have to eat fast food sometimes 2-3 times a week, 4 times a week. I have to get, it's not ideal for your health. It's not the greatest strategy, but sometimes double cheeseburgers are the only option for putting on weight if you're got a super high metabolism. But I would try with cranking your carbs up first, testing the limit of how much food you can get away with. Just keep pushing those carbohydrates up until you hit your limit, and then you might have to put in some trash food and see how it goes. All right, folks, I appreciate each and every one of you. I am happy to be back on here. You guys are the best. Thank you for all your support. I love even the person who reported my channel. You need a hug more than anybody else. I've got a hug for you too. You guys are the best. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will be back on my regular posting schedule. I just thought I hadn't made a Q&A this week, so I figured it'd be fun to just do an impromptu live one. It's something easy to do, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Take it easy. I will see you on the Anabolic Bodybuilding live stream this weekend, and go follow me on X. Please go over to X. I'm going to be posting my long form videos over there as well. Follow me on X, on Spotify, and Apple Music. I'm also on Amazon Podcast as well. Sorry, Apple Podcast. Make sure you follow me on all the platforms. I'm probably going to put up a Rumble channel too, and just spread my shit around as many places as I can get them. I don't know the first damn thing about Rumble. I've never used it, but everybody keeps telling me I should be on Rumble, so I guess I'll try Rumble out and see how it goes. All right, folks, we'll see